One, thank you so much for joining National NSSLHA's ASHA Convention Know Before You Go event. We are all so excited for ASHA Centennial and we hope you are too. My name is Katie Kingsbury and I serve as National NSSLHA's Vice President for Programming in Audiology. I'm a third-year audiology and PhD student at the University of Iowa. I'd like to introduce my co-host and moderator for this evening, my Executive Council buddy, Haley.
Thanks, Katie. My name is Haley Carrasco, and I serve as National NSSLHA's Vice President for Programming in Speech-Language Pathology. I'm a first-year SLP student at the University at Buffalo. If you have any questions as we go through the presentation, please use the Q&A or the raise hand feature, and we will take periodic breaks to answer them.
Awesome. So as we jump into this evening, at National NSSLHA, we understand that attending the ASHA convention is just as exciting as sometimes it is overwhelming. From selecting sessions to finding your way around the convention center to making most of your time at this experience, it can be a bit of a daunting prospect. But tonight, we hope after the session, you're feeling excited and relieved. We're going to go over some tips on how to prepare ahead of time, how to make the most of your convention experience, whether it's your first time or not, and some helpful reminders to make the most of your time in DC a success.
I'm so sorry. Before we get started, let's ask you a couple of questions. First, can you please tell us where you're from in the chat box?
Let's see. Oh, how many states we've represented. I'm in the Midwest here in Iowa. Haley's up in the Northeast. We got Georgia. Oh my goodness, people
Ooh.
from all over. Fair amount of North Carolina, some New York.
Saying a lot
Looks
of
like
New
we
York.
have, yeah, a little bit of every region of the country represented, which is great. We're so excited to see you all at convention.
And our second question will be a poll, and it is this your first ASHA convention? It's looking like for a lot of us, it is the first convention. So thank you so much for that insight.
We're so excited for you guys to experience the ASHA convention for the first time. And for those of you that are returners, hopefully this gives you some new helpful information or some reminders for this year. Part of having a successful convention experience is being prepared. We're going to go over some helpful tips on what to pack, how to get around DC, and review the ASHA convention app, which is a great resource. First up, we're going to be talking about what to pack. You will have lots of opportunities to network with other professionals as well as attend reception. So it's best to pack a mix of business casual or business professional clothing, whatever you're comfortable in, and maybe have a few options for different events. Temperatures will be ranging from 58 to 38 degrees in DC. It is mid-November, and inside the convention center, it can be chilly. So layers are always great to bring. Some of the session rooms may vary from hot to cold. So having a cardigan, sweater, or blazer to bring with you to the center will often come in handy if you don't want to be putting on your winter coat. Yeah, so we have those warm evenings and some chilly nights. So layers are a great way to go. Comfortable shoes are a must. So DC has pretty long city blocks, and inside the convention center, you're going to be on your feet for a majority of the day. So having shoes that you've worn before that you know are comfortable are a great idea. It's even a good idea to bring a pair of backup shoes to keep at the hotel. And if you're presenting and you're like, I want to wear these ballet flats or heels or other dress shoes, you can always opt to carry them in your bag and swap them out before your presentation. Our next must in our bag are chargers, especially we're going to be using the ASHA app, taking photos. You want to be connected throughout the day and your phone might run out. So there will be charging stations in the exhibit hall and NSSLHA Lounge, so feel free to visit us there. But it's also a great idea to bring a portable charger to carry with you. The next one we like to say, our next must is bringing a way to take notes, whether digital or physical, even just a little notebook. I've done that in the past. I didn't want to carry on a laptop, but having somewhere to jot notes is great. You're going to be meeting lots of people. So maybe you want to write down their name and look them up on LinkedIn later or read an article by them later and hearing about a lot of interesting topics. So having somewhere to write some notes to jog your memory and keep track of some ideas maybe you want to look more into after convention will allow you to follow up with people and really make the most of your time. Our next big tip is downloading the convention app. So this was like my lifeline during convention. It allows you to plan out your schedule session, and we'll have more on the app in a few minutes. We're going to take a brief pause here to answer any questions. So feel free to use the Q&A box in your More bar of Zoom or the raise hand feature. Okay, do we have any questions so far? People feeling pretty good, which is great to see. I will also say we have people from so many different parts of the country. So if you're from somewhere that maybe doesn't get quite as chilly, it's always a great idea to bring maybe some gloves. Being conscious about what jacket you're bringing is always great because no one likes to be cold. So making sure we're bringing appropriate materials, weather and outfit wise. I know also for me, maybe this is just me, but I love planning all my outfits before convention. So I know what I'm wearing every day just to alleviate any stress. Someone in the chat is asking, is there a bag policy for the convention center? In the past, I know there have not been bag policies. You can bring a backpack or tote bag, but there's typically sometimes a bag check. So be mindful of that and what you're bringing. Does the convention allow our own food and drinks? So typically this is totally fine as well. Bringing in snacks. We usually recommend this, having a snack in your bag, water. That's always a great idea as there's some long days and you maybe don't want to be stuck without something to eat. Yeah, so we're also seeing there's also places nearby to get snacks. So there is food inside the convention center, but also having that option of, okay, you can bring a snack in with you, maybe pop out somewhere, grab a snack at a nearby grocery store, something like that. There's always good options nearby. Haley, do you want to jump into our next part about how we're so excited for the centennial?
Yes. ASHA is celebrating its centennial anniversary this year, and to mark the occasion, ASHA will have many special events and features throughout the convention, from centennial sessions to a mosaic experience to celebrating through fashion. This year will prove to be a celebratory one to remember. Check out the centennial activities in the link in the chat.
Awesome. So, with Washington, D.C. being the host city this year, we want to go over some tips about getting around. The main modes of transportation are walking, metro, or bus in the city, and all of the convention activities are within a 10 to 15-minute walk of the convention center. You can also download the Metro app called Metro Pulse, where you can plan your trip, see the best way to get different places, and how to get to some of the nearest stops near you. There is also a convention specific stop, so that's a great one to have bookmarked at, okay, this is the stop I'm looking for. If you're planning on using the Metro system, you should also download the Smart Trip app, which you see on the slides here. This will help you pay for your tickets this way and load money into the app rather than trying to figure out the machines on the platform, which can be tricky, cumbersome, and sometimes using time that you don't really want to use. So we highly recommend downloading this app. They're both super easy to use. And we've also put on the screen how to use public transportation getting from the multiple airports around DC. There's a lot of three different main airports in the area. So now that we looked at some travel times to get a sense of how far certain places away, you might want to get an idea maybe where you're traveling to and from. So from the Dulles Airport, for example, by Metro, it'll take a little over an hour to get to the convention center. Reagan National, only about 22 minutes, and BWI about an hour and 22 minutes. So with train and Metro. So if you're looking for restaurants near the convention center area with that question about food, follow the link in the chat to search for ones that are nearby. Now we're going to turn it over to Sarah Preston, ASHA's Associate Director of Event Communications. Sarah will go over the convention app, including how to download and how to efficiently navigate the convention. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being here, and I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, thanks for having me. Um, so if you haven't downloaded the app, please do so. It'll give you a jump on picking out sessions and just familiarizing yourself with how it works. I feel pretty confident that all of you on this call can navigate an app pretty well, but I think in the context of the convention and how big it is, it can be maybe a little bit overwhelming. So next slide. So we have a home screen. If you haven't downloaded it, this is pretty much what it looks like. It may display, this is a screenshot from my phone that it may look a little bit different on your phone. But I've flagged some different things that you'll probably be using quite a bit. We have the program in the upper left. That's where you'll find sessions. Meetings and social. That's where you would find any kind of NSSLHA activities. You'd find receptions and any other non-CE activities. This circled row is my schedule, my exhibitors, and my handouts. So anything you save will be found in one of those buttons. Let's see. We have overflow. You're probably going to use that if a session reaches capacity. Student volunteers and ASHA staff will probably direct you to another area where you can watch the slides and hear the audio. And that overflow button will tell you what's overflowing and where it's going to. See, maps and floor plans. I use these a lot. This is how you can see where you are in the convention center. We have all the rooms labeled. I think you'll find them really handy, and you can pinch and zoom so you can make them really big. What else? Oh, I flagged centennial activities just as sort of a general promo. More event info is where I've saved like various documents that you might need. They are accessible through other areas. Okay, next slide. Okay, the program. First of all, you should log in to the app with your ASHA.org login and password so you can set up your own schedule and save sessions. So then you would go to the program and you're going to see a whole list of sessions. You can tap across the top for different days. If you touch a session title, it'll open a details screen with more information about the session, who's presenting, where it's located. If you touch the location, it'll actually show you on the floor plan where it's located. Next slide. So this is about how you would sort of narrow down your choices because there are literally thousands of sessions. As I mentioned, the tabs across the top, you can filter by day. The on-demand sessions are on the November 11th tab. This is just the session listings. You would go to the virtual program app platform to actually watch them, but that's where anything listed under November 11th is a virtual session. The tabs that you'll be using most are the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that has all the in-person sessions. So then when you tap to filter sessions, there are a few things that I think you'll find helpful. Filter by audience, you can filter by students. And so there's also researchers, academics, etc., different audiences. So you could look for student sessions geared towards students. You can select the instructional level. So you could do intro or intermediate, or if you're very advanced, then session format. So this is important. There are 1-hour oral seminars, 30-minute technical sessions, and then poster sessions, which is like a 90-minute period where you can just go and talk to the presenter and just ask all the questions you have. It's very interactive, have a great conversation, etc. Let's see. Oh, in topic area, there are, I think, 32 or 33 different topic areas for all sessions at the ASHA Convention related to the professions. So you would go in there to find sessions related to autism or audiology sessions or just all different topics, whatever you're studying, whatever interests you. That's really helpful. So play with it and see what comes up. You can also do a keyword search or search by author or presenter. There's just so much in there that it's worth spending some time. Next slide. Okay. To save sessions to your own personal schedule, just hit the little star. You can do the same thing with all the meetings and social activities as well. And then if you go into My Schedule, you'll see them on your schedule. Next slide. Oh, that was it. So
Thank you
what
so
questions do you
I
have?
was going to say, we do have one question. So while Sarah's answering this, if anyone has any other questions about the app, building your schedule, feel free to pop those in the Q&A or use the raise hand feature. We did have a question from someone asking, how early would you recommend we get to the session for kind of the best chance to avoid the overflow space?
That's a hard question to answer because some sessions are going to be, you might only have 15 people in them. Some sessions are going to be packed. We can't always predict what's going to be packed. It's a 30-minute break between all 1-hour sessions. So, if there's a session that you really want to see, I would get there as early as possible. And you should be okay. But if it fills up, you can, you'll we can't overflow every session, but staff will direct you to one of the overflow areas.
Someone asked, how do you know if a session was one you needed to sign up for during registration or if they're available to everyone?
Well, that's a good question. Only short courses and the pre-convention workshop require tickets. All other 1-hour oral seminars, any technical session, and all posters are open to everyone who is registered. No sign up, no tickets.
That's a great question, and it really opens a lot of possibility because there are so many amazing sessions. So as Sarah said, I'd really take some time to go through the app. Filtering by the different topic areas is a great way to start. If you're like, ooh, I love pediatric audiology assessment, maybe narrowing it that way is a great way to take advantage of the app if you're a little overwhelmed to start. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. Does anyone have any more questions for Sarah about the app, building your schedule? Awesome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Oh, we just got one here. What is the difference between a technical session and a seminar?
It's a time difference. It's 1 hour versus technicals are only 30 minutes. And I think 1-hour sessions tend to be a bit more in depth, and that they might get into theory or more of the not practical applications, but real world results, whereas technical sessions are meant to be really brief, and maybe address like research, ongoing research, or clinical application. They're more the nuts and bolts, I think. But we have on the website, you can read about the different session formats if you want to learn more. I can find that link.
Yeah.
Some great, thank you. And another great tip both Haley and I have experienced in how are we building our schedules, navigating the app, is rather than just also sorting by topic area, which you can also, as we said, sort by keywords. So maybe that's a presenter name, a program affiliation. So if you know a lot of people from your program are attending and you want to support them, you can search by the faculty you want to support or the friends you want to support, see where they're presenting, what they're presenting, when they're presenting. And also, especially if maybe you're an undergrad student or looking to apply to get into grad school or another program, this can be a great way to connect with faculty and students from that program in attending their session. So making kind of your presence known, learning more about their areas of interest can be a great way to connect with them and also just learn more about their research, their program. So that's a kind of a good tip if you're like, not sure if I just also want to sort by topic area. That keyword search can be a pretty powerful tool.
All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, for that very informative review of the convention app. As we go through the rest of the evening, please feel free to add any of the events that we talk about to your schedule. So next, we're going to go over a few safety reminders. DC is a large city, and these reminders are meant to encourage you to use caution and be aware of your personal surroundings. So first off, answer your hotel room door only if you know or can identify the person who's knocking. 2, don't wear your badge outside of the ASHA convention of the functions or out on the street. You don't want some random person just saying your name and knowing who you are. Number 3, travel and walk in groups when you're outside the convention center or your hotel, especially at night. And 4, have a safe place for your essential items, IDs, cards, and small amount of cash. Those are really important, and you don't want to be losing those, especially if you have a flight the next day.
Is a great reminder. And with that question about our badges, we're making sure to take them off. Our badges also serve for us to get into the convention. So if you see there's like little QR codes, that's what's getting you in. So make sure you're having your badge. If you were mailed your badge, make sure to bring it with you to convention. There will also be ways to print it at the convention or get it printed if you opted not to have it mailed to you. But remember your badge. I always put mine in like a big Ziploc bag so it doesn't get wet on the flight, anything like that, just to keep it safe. So now we're going to shift to talking about different programs at the convention. So ASHA Convention has so much to offer, and it can sometimes be hard to know what is for students when faced with so many choices. As we saw in the app, there's literally thousands of choices. So here are some recommendations for us students for student-focused events. So we have a lot of great events as you see on the slide here, but we're going to take a deep dive into some of them and really highlight them.
Don't forget to stop by the NSSLHA Lounge, booth 3540, to say hi, meet your National NSSLHA leaders, and make new friends. While there, you can nab some free giveaways and ribbons and snap a pic at our selfie station. National NSSLHA staff will also be on hand to answer any questions that you have about National NSSLHA and student activities at the ASHA Convention. You can play our tic-tac-toe game. You can choose any 3 activities to attend or complete and have a National NSSLHA Executive Council or staff member stamp your card to claim the activity. Then you can turn in your card to the National NSSLHA Lounge to be entered to win a $150 Amazon gift card. One winner will be drawn on Friday and Saturday. You do not have to be present to win.
Tic-tac-toe is amazing. Like the prizes you get from that, and it's also kind of a fun way to see, okay, I have a little free time. What should I be doing? Maybe I can hit some things on the tic-tac-toe board and kind of guide your walk around the convention center. So now we're going to be talking about our first timers student welcome. So this isn't just for first timers students. This is for all students. We really want to see you there. So this event is really meant for students, and we want you to join us on Wednesday, November 19th from 4:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. in room 207B. so sorry, 207B, come mix and mingle with other CSD students and get a rundown of the ASHA Convention Survival Guide. So we're getting some great tips tonight, but you can talk to our other National NSSLHA EC members, students who have come in the past, and also preview some program and activities, as well as meet National NSSLHA and ASHA's who's who. So get a little bit of who's who at the convention. We will also have some light refreshment, games, and this is just a great way to connect with students. Last year, our first timers welcome was an absolute blast. You're able to meet students from so many other programs. Other students were able to talk to younger students about maybe what grad school they're attending, where they're studying, and overall the connection was fabulous.
You can also come enjoy a speed networking experience at the Graduate School Fair and PhD Center, where you can meet representatives from graduate and doctoral programs across the country. There will be prizes and application fee waiver giveaways each day. So there's a really good opportunity to learn more about these programs, what they offer, what type of opportunities you can get at these different programs. So it's a really great experience. The fair will be open Thursday and Friday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we really hope to see you there.
So this this year's National NSSLHA Awards and celebration will be held at the DC Puttery. So join us as we celebrate the 2024-2025 NSSLHA Honors awardees. So for anyone out there who's a NSSLHA awardees tonight, we want to celebrate you. So enjoy some refreshments and beverages as we celebrate students, chapter, advisors, and a round of putt-putt at this free event. So we really hope to see you all there. We also have sponsors who will be giving out drink tickets. So we really hope you come and enjoy a fun evening with fellow NSSLHA members. This is such a fun night and event. You meet so many amazing people and really connect with students from all over the country. So bring some friends, have some fun. And like we said, it is all free. So come play some mini golf.
For this year's NSSLHA hosted events, we will highlight a couple from this slide, such as Take Action, Shaping the Future of CSD Through Advocacy on Thursday, November 20th from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Please note that this session will be held at the Marriott in Chinatown. And on Saturday, November 22nd, we will have Practicing Out Loud, Raw Conversations with Neurodivergent SLPs, which will be from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
And so our next fun event we really want to highlight is our Knowledge Quest. So Haley and I will be there, so come see us, come help cheer on other students as you work on your praxis knowledge. So come play and cheer on other NSSLHA members as they match wits and answer questions like those in the praxis exam. So if you're studying, this is a great way to have some fun, but also study. So this can't miss event is filled with friendly, high energy competition and also some great prizes, some of which include some praxis review material. So sign up to join a team today. So we hope to see you all there. Bring some energy, bring some friends. And if you're like, you know what, I don't want to join a group, we still want to have you come cheer on other students. And you can still get some review, even if you're like, yeah, I'm not going to join a group, but you still want to be there. We want to see you there. So that will be November 20th from 3 to 4 p.m. So the next event we want to highlight is our Caring Square Takeover. The Caring Square offers a fun and unique way for attendees to give back to the local community while we're at the ASHA Convention. So these activities are designed for participants to jump in and work a little. A lot of them are like craft-based, or we're making things to do whenever you have some free time. So there will be professional facilitators in the Caring Square to be hands-on and provide some guidance and instructions. But this is a nice way to kind of, if you're like, okay, I need a break between sessions, I need a break between I've been on my feet all day, come to the Caring Square. National NSSLHA will be there Friday, November 21st from noon to 1 p.m. And it's a great way to support some local DC charities, especially if you kind of love crafts or anything like that. This is a great opportunity.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram for the daily convention schedule. It gives you up-to-date info on convention opportunities and behind-the-scenes perspectives from student leaders like Katie and I. Lastly, look through our past convention-related blog posts to gain more insights into how to make the most of your convention. Link in the chat.
Awesome. So we've given you a lot of great information. So now we're going to hand it over to you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A box or use your little raise hand feature. We want to really take some time to answer what you guys feel is pressing and want to learn more about for the ASHA convention. So we did have one question already come in. Haley, if you want to start on this and then we can popcorn back and forth. Someone's asking, what do opportunities for networking look like for soon-to-be clinical fellows or externs at the convention? And maybe what are some recommendations you have?
That's a really good question. One recommendation I would give is to definitely go around to the booths of employers. So when I went to the Seattle convention, there were a lot of hospitals and skilled nursing facilities that had booths and that were looking to not only get people for CFs and for full-time positions, but also willing to have like summer volunteers or interns come in. So I feel like that's a really good opportunity to get to know what it would be like to work in these different settings and to possibly get an opportunity to work there.
That's a great tip. Another one I would have is really take advantage of the many receptions. These are also listed in the ASHA app, but there are so many amazing receptions hosted for different kind of groups you might be interested in or different professionals you want to connect with. I'm an audiology student, so I've gone to the Here one in the past that's all audiologists. And this is so amazing because you kind of think, oh, am I going to run into the same people at convention? But you definitely do. We're a pretty small field. So taking advantage of the many receptions there are to connect with professionals and knowing especially there's one for multicultural groups, the different SIGs, there's an international reception, open houses for different universities. These are a great way to kind of tailor your interest of, okay, maybe there's a certain reception I'm interested in. If you go there, you know you're probably meeting other professionals that have similar interests as you or maybe what you're looking to get into. Haley, do you have anything to add on that?
Personally, from my experience with multicultural groups, I've gone to sessions and to receptions by the Hispanic Caucus, and it's a really good opportunity to connect with other people who share similar values. Me personally, I really want to work with people who are bilingual speakers, so getting to connect with people who share the same values as me and want to work with those populations or are already doing it was really great.
Awesome. That's such a great question. So we did also have some questions before pre-registration. So Haley, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on maybe some of the best way to utilize some of that free time or downtime at the convention?
I think a really good way to utilize free time is definitely walking around and looking at the poster rooms. It's a really cool, really good opportunity to look at what type of research is out there right now, and it really gets you thinking about what we could be doing as a field and what people are really looking into, the questions that they're asking. And honestly, from my personal experience, a good way to use your free time is take a break. It can be a lot walking around convention, going to all these sessions. It's really easy to get exhausted. So if there's nothing in particular calling to you and it's already like midway through the day, it's okay to take a break.
I think it's important to remember the ASHA convention is a marathon, not a sprint. My first year I went in Boston 2 years ago. And the first day I was like, how many sessions can I get to? Let me book things back to back to back. And I think by the last day of convention, I was almost falling asleep in a session. And that is not a good look. So, how are we making sure we're maybe seeing a few sessions in the morning? If you need a little lunch break, a stretch break to go walk with some maybe new friends you met or some other classmates or professionals you're attending the convention with, it's a good time to kind of say, okay, this is just my kind of tip. I like to organize my sessions into categories of like must sees, okay, if I have energy for, and then maybe some like ones, okay, if I get to, I would be happy. And so, kind of having this priority of sessions, like add them all to your schedule, but knowing which are sessions I really want to see, I really think are going to be important for me to see, is a great way to kind of structure it. And also using your time strategically. And okay, maybe you go to a number of sessions that are really key for your understanding, your learning. so kind of informational sessions, but also maybe how are you using some sessions or posters as a networking opportunity. So if you realize some professionals you really want to connect with are presenting something like a poster, this could be a great time to go up to them, talk to them about their research, really learn more about them and their program. So kind of thinking strategically, like let's get kind of technical about how we're using our conference time. And then also with our receptions, that can be a great way to have fun, but also to make connections. So I think this is a really great time to answer. Someone in the chat asked, should you, specifically master students, bring business cards for networking? I would say this is up to you. If you have them already, they're always great to bring. You can hand them out to professionals. But if you're like, oh, I don't have business cards and conventions in like less than a week, there is also a great, you can kind of make like a QR code. That's the best way to put it, like a QR code business card. I've had some friends do this, and it has like a little professional QR code. If you're meeting with someone that you want to trade information with, if you look up like QR code business card, you'll find information. You can put like your LinkedIn, like a quick way for them to access that. And also, if you're like, oh, I don't have a business card with me, you can always feel free to ask a professional if you feel comfortable. Oh, do you have a business card I could take to connect with you with? And if you don't have one, you can always then reach out to them on LinkedIn. So business cards are great if you have them, but if you don't panic, especially in this day and age of digital media and different ways to connect. There's always other ways to provide your information to other professionals. I think another question we have is someone asked about lanyards. So this we talked about in the chat a little. If you have your mailed badge, please bring it. Great job, A+, but you will be provided with a lanyard on site you can pick up. But then it just expedites the process a little because the lines to print badges can get a little long. So if you have your badge already, bringing it with you, you just need to stop and pick up that lanyard, which is a great way to kind of skip the line, save some time, but the lanyard will be provided to you on site.
To jump
Okay,
onto that
so
with the badges. Oh, I'm so sorry,
no,
Katie.
go ahead, Haley. You're good.
To jump onto that, one thing that you can do in your free time is to decorate your badge. So the ASHA convention, a lot of ASHA member services, the NSSLHA Lounge, and a few vendors, exhibitors will have their own ribbons to give you that you can put onto your badge. I know last year I had SLP to be. There was a bunch of really cute ones that were Seattle themed. So if you have some time, you can go around and start collecting those. And what you can also collect are some freebies. So especially on Saturday, a lot of the exhibitors will be giving out all of their freebies because they don't want to have the hassle of packing the things back and taking them from convention. So you can get a lot of freebies from these different booths.
I know there's always like the different coveted tote bags you see coming back from convention in the airport. You can tell who all the SLPs and audiologists are because they'll be like the different tote bags from convention all in the airport, which I just think is a riot. So fun to see. So this is another great time to kind of chat about, okay, we've made a lot of connections at convention. How are we then going to really follow up with them? Because I know for me, it can be intimidating where okay, I've met someone. How do I kind of keep this connection going? And a great way to do this is maybe set a little bit of time aside. Like maybe you're in the airport, you have a little free time, or maybe Thanksgiving break for you is right after convention. Take some dedicated time to follow up on LinkedIn with the people you got business cards from that you saw present. Just a little connection request is a great way to kind of facilitate making sure you guys kind of stay in the same network. And then feel free to reach out with them over email or LinkedIn. I know a lot of people sometimes like LinkedIn. It's pretty low stakes, low pressure. So just introducing yourself, giving context, say, hey, I met you at the ASHA convention. I really just wanted to connect and make sure we kind of stay in contact. We talked about so-and-so, just kind of reminding them maybe what you talked about, jog their memory, understanding that a lot of these people met so many people at convention. So it's okay to reintroduce yourself, provide that source of connection. And as you continue to engage on LinkedIn or post things or engage with their content, you kind of have this mutual point of connection. So that's a great way to kind of start a connection and continue to build it after the ASHA convention. Okay, we have another question in the chat. Haley, do you want to talk a little bit about this? So someone asked if this is their very first ASHA convention and they maybe don't know a lot of people attending, how can they get in touch with other students?
That's a good question. One way that I was able to connect with other students was through the volunteer sessions, specifically the orientation, and then just working with them, getting to build that connection and get to learn about them. So I'm from Buffalo, and last year's convention was on the West Coast, so I literally knew no one at the convention, but I was able to connect with some people from the University of Washington who were volunteering. They were a really good crowd. We got lunch together. So just making sure you are able to put yourself out there and willing to like make the initiative like, hey, maybe we can go see the session together or go get lunch. It really goes a long way, and I think it's a really good way to connect with other students at convention.
That's such a great reminder of, okay, if you're a student volunteer, there's a lot of other student volunteers. But if you're not, you can also come to that first timers welcome we're having or our NSSLHA awards. And I think everyone at those events is always so happy to connect with others, so willing to talk and meet new people. So I think those are some maybe good events to put on your schedule of, okay, they're early in the convention schedule. So that can be a great time to meet other students and make a bit of effort. I know it can feel uncomfortable to like put yourself out there of, oh, like, hey, do you want to meet up at this? But at a convention, I think everyone's really looking to connect. People really want to meet professionals, but also other students, knowing in the future you're probably going to run into them again. Like we said, it's a small field. So, how are you really making those connections early on? So, as Haley said, asking, hey, low stakes. Do you want to? I'm really interested in this, especially maybe if they are too, like, hey, we both seem to really enjoy tinnitus, or we both are really interested in vestibular assessment. I saw there's this great session tomorrow about vestibular assessment. Do you want to go? And that could be a fun way to kind of give them an idea of, hey, like, I didn't know what session I should be going to. And you clearly have put a lot of time and energy into finding some good sessions. And then also you have a buddy to go with, which I always think is really fun. Um, okay, we had someone previously ask, what are some helpful things that they should look for when attending this conference? So we've touched on this a little bit, but maybe think about what sessions are in your topic area of interest and really take advantage of this time to connect with people from other faculty. I will say for people that are undergrads attending this convention, looking towards grad school, even if you're kind of maybe know what schools you're interested in, going to that little speed dating PhD grad school fair is a great way to meet people from the actual program. And it also shows some initiatives. Then when you follow up with them again after, you can say, hey, I'm Katie. I met you at the ASHA convention at the grad school fair. I really love learning more about your program. So it shows you took some time to really learn about their program, took some of your time at the convention to make your way over to them. Which can be really important in the long run of showing that you're connecting with them, that you are really making an effort. I will also add, we just had in the chat from one of our staff, Alexis, that the NSSLHA Lounge is a great home base if you ever are like, I want to meet more students. Maybe your feet are a little sore and tired. You just need somewhere to take a little break, charge your phone, get a cookie or coffee. We have great things in our lounge to come by and meet other students, but also meet our national leadership team. So throughout the day, different executive council members will be in the lounge, and we love talking to you guys. I love meeting you guys in the lounge. I love hearing where you're from. We love to talk about National NSSLHA, but we also just want to get to know you and get to know you guys as students and fellow future colleagues. So feel free to stop by the NSSLHA Lounge if you're ever like, I need a little break. Maybe I need some students to chat with or just a second to decompress. Feel free to stop on by. Okay, now we're going to shift a little bit to talking about what our first time was like at the ASHA convention. Both Haley and Haley's been to one, I've been to two. So this is not our first time around the block, but I want to ask you, Haley, what was your first time attending the ASHA convention like? Can you describe your experience a little?
Yes, so it was a little nerve-wracking because not only was it my first convention with ASHA, my first convention period, but also it was across the country. So I was a little nervous to attend, but at the end of the day, it was an amazing experience. Like I mentioned before, I volunteered for one of the 3 days of convention, and I was responsible for monitoring sessions throughout the day, making sure the presenters had everything that they needed, and helping out with the overflow rooms and redirecting people. I got to meet a lot of students from the West Coast, and well, specifically monitoring the sessions gave me a push to learn about different topics that I might not have gone and listened to if I wasn't monitoring. And another note that I had was I was really tired from convention. I packed my schedule. I didn't give myself a time to rest. I felt like I needed to go to every single session, every single event. And if I had like a second of time, I had to be doing something. So, like Katie mentioned, by the last session, I was exhausted. I wasn't really paying attention. So, take breaks as needed, but I think the convention is a great opportunity to network with people, to learn about things that you might not necessarily have time to learn about in grad school. It's amazing. And Katie, when was your first time attending convention and how was it for you?
So my first time attending convention, I did not present at convention. So I had two different experiences. Last year, I presented a number of projects, a number of posters. And my first year, I was kind of more of an observer. I got to take in a lot of the convention materials. I took a lot of times going to sessions. Much like Haley, I overbooked myself a little bit early on, but later in some of the other days, I did make a little time to take breaks, explore the city I was in. We're in Washington, D.C., so this is a great chance to enjoy the convention, but also enjoy where you are. So maybe using those breaks strategically to pop out, grab a bite to eat somewhere with some new students you met. So my first time in Boston, I was a bit more of like, okay, I'm observing, getting my feet wet. Last year in Seattle, I once again overcommitted myself as a student presenter. I kind of presented a few too many things. It was great, but how are you maybe, especially if you're presenting at this convention, give yourself enough time to get where you need to be to present. Give yourself enough time to, okay, maybe before I present, I need 30 minutes to decompress, or I need to make sure I grab something to eat, grab a drinks, have a cup of tea, etc. So I would say, especially if you're a student presenter and this is your first ASHA convention, give yourself an ample time to get yourself ready to present. It's also fun. People want to talk to you. It's not high stakes, but also make sure you have enough time to get where you're going. I definitely underestimated many a time how far away things are in the convention hall because you're like, oh, it's all in one building. It's so close. But we are between different venues. Some of our events are at different hotels nearby. Some of them are in the same convention center. But the convention center, by virtue, is just really large. So make sure you're giving yourself a buffer, so you have plenty of time to get to the sessions, but also when you're presenting, so you're not stressed. Because I think that's one of the worst things you can do is like go into your presentation stressed. You're like, okay, maybe a little nervous already. So taking time to make sure you're doing everything beforehand to alleviate some of those nerves if you have any. And I will give a little, if you are presenting a poster, really take that time to chat with people. If they walk up to your poster and they give that little look over of like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to stop, that's totally fine if they don't stop. Don't take it personally. That's definitely a thing with posters at convention. People have to kind of peruse. It's like window shopping. So if you kind of have to stand there for a beat, just smile at them. If they don't stop, it's nothing personal. Maybe they're just trying to kind of find another poster that's of interest to them. And then when you do chat with these people, giving them the rundown, make sure to really chat with them about what they're interested in. Maybe take time to ask them if they have questions. And especially as students, I really like taking this opportunity to ask for feedback. So maybe ask them, hey, would you have any suggestions about my project if this is an area of interest or specialty for them as a professional? I think that is a great way to really grow your research and grow your project. So then when you come back after convention, you have some things you're like, okay, these are some things we could change, make different, or improve on for the next time I present or how we refine this research more. Okay, so that was a little verbose. Hopefully you got something from that if you're a student presenter, if this is your first time attending. But to wrap tonight up, we're going to do a quick little rapid fire question with Haley and I. So if anyone has any last questions, feel free to put those in the Q&A or chat feature. But quickly, Haley, we've talked to this a fair amount, but give me your number one networking tip.
My number one networking tip is to be yourself. Don't be too nervous about it. A lot of these people who are here trying to talk with you want to talk to you, you know? So don't feel crazy amount of pressure to be talking with these people, you know, just be yourself and try to present yourself the best way possible.
Great advice. I love it. I think my number one tip would be not being afraid to reintroduce yourself. Understanding these people are seeing, we're seeing thousands of people every day at this convention. There's going to be over 1,400 students at this convention, let alone 1,000 more attendees. So that's not to make you nervous, but that's also to kind of make you excited. There's so many new people to meet. But with networking in that environment, maybe you've met a professional you're really excited to meet and you see him again at a reception or you see him again at some other interaction you have with them. Don't be afraid to reintroduce yourself. Like, hi, I'm Katie. I'm from the University of Iowa. Maybe this is what you're interested in, what year you are in your program. Just because I think we can assume, oh, they've met me already. Like, I don't want to be rude and reintroduce myself, but I think it also takes some pressure off whoever we're networking with that, oh, like, they're not assuming I remember them. So I would say just that. Don't be afraid to reintroduce yourself and make sure that connection is okay. Yeah, it's not being rude, but we're just kind of like taking some pressure off from people meeting a lot of people throughout the day. Okay. Um, we've chatted on this a little bit, but we'll end tonight with what is your best piece of advice for the ASHA convention? This is a hard one.
Let me think. I think, honestly, my best piece of advice is to really put yourself out there and try something different. If you aren't the type to really go to like these social events and these big venues, try it at least once, you know? If there's a session where it's like, oh, I don't really learn that in school or in my classes, go do it. It's a good opportunity to try something different, learn something different from what you're already learning in school or something that like let's say for me personally, I'm really set on dysphagia and swallowing, but I will still take the opportunity to take a session on stuttering or a session on multiculturalism just because it's a great opportunity to learn from amazing people in the field.
And Alexis, I think she's a mind reader because she took a little bit of my advice. I would say my best piece of advice is to take care of yourself. So we've talked about how exciting this opportunity is, but it really is a marathon event. So making sure you're eating throughout the day, you bring a water bottle, you're drinking water. I always bring like tea or vitamins, like a lot of cold and germs are going around this time of year. So how are you really making sure you're taking care of yourself so you can enjoy the convention from the first day to the last day all the way through? So being sure to get some good sleep, making sure there's a lot of great events, but still making sure we're getting sleep, having water, snacks on hand, and just things. If you're like, oh, I know I need to take these vitamins, or I always like to have this thing, make sure you're bringing it with you so you can really feel your best throughout the day. Because I think we can be hard on ourselves. Like, we think, oh, I'm just going to a convention, but it's like, we're performing. We need to make sure we have our fuel. We need to make sure we have everything we need so we can really bring our best selves and also really just enjoy the experience to the best extent. So if we don't have any more questions, we're going to wrap up the evening. I just want to say thank you all so much for coming. Please don't hesitate to reach out to National NSSLHA for any questions regarding the convention or anything we went over this evening. We're expecting to have such an amazing time in DC and can't wait to see you all there. As you sign out tonight, you will receive the post-event survey. So please make sure to take a moment to fill this out so we can continue to bring you events that best serve your needs as students. We're here for you. We're also putting the survey link into the chat right now. Our next virtual office hours event will be Wednesday, January 28th, and we'll focus on first jobs, CF, and beyond. So if you're a grad student, undergrad, and SLP, we want to see you here on January 28th. You can get more information and register for that or any of our upcoming events using the link in the chat. The National NSSLHA undergraduate scholarship application closes December 31st, and we'd love for you to share your chapter members about our scholarship. It's open to National NSSLHA members who are undergraduate sophomores and juniors, so feel free to share that. We have more information about the scholarship on the NSSLHA website, so please encourage all members and undergraduate students that you know to apply. If you're interested in stepping into a leadership role with National NSSLHA, be sure to stop by the NSSLHA Lounge where you can ask any of our current EC council members and other student leaders any questions you have. For available opportunities for the 2026 to 2028 term, follow the link in the chat. My position's going up for election. I would love to talk to you about it, so feel free to stop by, ask us any questions you have. Please don't hesitate to contact us after this evening and have such a great night. We look forward to seeing all of you at the ASHA Convention, so feel free to stop